one of the things that was iffy, you have to, like you're here with your dog, and yes, it has to stay, and you walk so many feet away, and it has to stay.
Alrighty, again, I
And
have a
then
single
when you
entry here
call
in
it,
my Weathers 3 to under 6 months of age. This Weather shows me a great upright head carriage, very alert and animated expression, as well as shows me great width between those eyes. And when you get your hands on him, you can see that development in that posternum. Just needs a little bit greater smoothness of blending from that shoulder all the way down into that loin, but very well deserving of a first place. Thank you.
so then it was supposed to come to you when you call it. Well, is that him? Yep, I was right. For watching the goats.
All right. Just decided to come to the fair.
When I heard you say you were going to be here, I thought,
Oh, yeah.
I'll just come watch.
All right.
So,
Well, it's only going to be like a 4 or 5 minute thing.
that's
Just right over here by these, by this garden over here.
Oh, you're going to do
Yeah,
that.
right over there. Yeah. Yep. So we'll see how it goes. Yep. Well, we're sponsoring it, so we're paying.
I saw Tony.
Really?
Yeah.
How long ago?
20 minutes.
Oh yeah.
When we were pulling in, driving in,
Uh huh.
I saw you walk across the road
Oh, yeah?
from where you were parked.
Right.
And I told her,
Yeah.
I couldn't see you though, but
Yeah.
I was still driving.
Right. Well, I hope my car doesn't get towed. It's in the bank parking lot over there. We'll see. Ooh, it's a little warm.
There's a fan.
Oh,
Scoot
yeah.
over a little bit. Were you in 4-H?
No.
No.
No. It wasn't.
I was wondering, is everybody in Wisconsin all right? With that
Yes.
storm?
Yeah. It did.
I didn't know. I couldn't find it on the map where it was.
Well,
And I couldn't-
We are currently doing class 3, whether 6 months to under 1 year. Please have weathers 1 year to 2 years ringside.
Alrighty, this is my class of whether 6 months to under 1 year. I'm going to leave them as they came into this ring today. I am placing 1 over number 2 today for showing me greater width in that chest floor while on the move, as well as between those front cannons while on the move. He is also showing me a leveler top line in the area of the loin when they are out naturally standing. I will grant to my second place for showing me greater width between the hocks today. Thank you. Alrighty, this is my class of Weathers, 1 to 2 years of age. I'm placing 1 over 2, as well as the rest of the class, for his overall body condition. When you get your hands on this Weather, he is not overweight, he is not underweight, he is the perfect weight that you need right now. When you go ahead and get a hand on his chest floor, you can see that development in his brisket as well as his posternum, and he shows me great width throughout, and he's holding himself together very well. 2 is placing over number 3 today for showing me a more levelness in the area of the rump, a more correct set to that rump at this time, as well as showing me greater width in the heart girth. 3 is placing over number 4 today for showing me greater depth of body, increasing back into that flank, as well as showing me greater width in that shoulder, all the way down into that loin. 4 is placing over number 5 today for showing me greater width in that escutcheon, as well as just showing me a little greater development in that brisket today and a more upright head carriage. 5 is placing over number 6 today for showing me greater body capacity in the area of the barrel, as well as showing me a more correct slope to that rump, as well as, again, greater development in that brisket and posternum. And then when we move down into 6 over 7, this just comes down to showing me a more levelness to the withers as well as down into that loin. He's also showing me a little bit more smoothness of blending in the muscling today. Thank you.
Congratulations to our class 4, 1 year to 2 years of age. First place, Azalea Davidson with Maui. Second, Gasman Aspie with Scotty. Third, Bellamy Fouch with Hey Hey. 4, Kendra Belheimer with Boomer. 5th, Mackenzie Schaefer and Opie. 6th, Ethan Schaefer and Jason. 7, Joey Murdoch with Peanut. Be bringing in your class 5 Weathers, aged 2 to 3 years of age.
Alrighty, this is my class of weathers, 2 to 3 years of age. I'm placing from my right to my left. I'm placing 1/2 as well as the rest of the class. Again, for his overall body condition, he is thoroughly smooth throughout from his muscling from that shoulder all the way down into that loin. He's also showing me a great depth of body, increasing back into that flank for the size of his height to his width. He's also showing me that he is standing on heavy bone, strong bone, and great width in that chest floor, and he holds that all the way down into the back when he's standing naturally. 2 is placing over number 3 today for showing me a tighter shoulder attachment at this time, as well as holding elbows just a little tighter to the barrel at this time. 3 is placing over number 4 today for showing me a more correct slope to that rump, as well as showing me a little greater depth of body, increasing back into that flank. 4 is placing over number 5 today for showing me stronger, straighter forelegs, as well as stronger pasterns, as well as showing me a more correct set to those rear legs. 5 is placing over number 6 today for showing me a little greater smoothness of blending, a little more body conditioning at this time, proper body conditioning for the goats at this time. And 6 is placing over number 7 today for showing me greater width in that escutcheon, as well as showing me greater width in that shoulder. Thank you.
Congratulations to our Class 4 weathers. First place, Azalea Davidson with Maui. Second, Gavin Aspie with Scotty. Third, Bellamy Fouch with Hey Hey. Fourth, Kendra.
Excuse me, if you are the owner of a white Honda Tucson with Florida plates, you are blocking the horses from getting out of the horse barn with the trailers. So please move your car, a white Honda Tucson from Florida. Thank you.
Congratulations to our Class 5 weathers, 2 to 3 years of age. First place, Azalea Davidson with Maverick. Second, Celia Hewler with Maverick Gilbert. Third, Joni Swinford with Rebel. Fourth, Joey Murdoch with Rocky. Fifth, Aubrey Johnson with Pickles. Sixth, Ricky Muniz with Ramsey. And seventh, Ricky Muniz with Eeyore. We are now on Class 6 weathers, 3 to 4 years of age. And we need our Class 7 weathers ringside. And again, a reminder for all of our first and second animals, you will be coming back in for selection of the champion.
I have a single entry here in my 3 to 4 year old class. This weather shows me a nice upright head carriage. He's very alert and animated in his appearance. He's also showing me a great rear leg angulation viewed from the side. He's also, when you get your hands on him, he is very smoothly blended for his width and as well as his height, and is showing me a great depth of body, increasing back into that flank and showing me a great heart girth for his width. Thank you.
And your Class 7A, weathers 4 years and older. Congratulations to Class 6 winner, Mackenzie Schaefer with Oreo. like to take a second to thank our sponsor, T.A. Smith Distributing, for capturing for being our photo sponsor during our Pygmy Goat show and capturing all our favorite memories during the fair. Thank you very much.
Alrighty, this is my first class of Weathers 4 years and older. I'm placing 1 over number 2 today, as well as the rest of the class, for showing me greater smoothness to blending throughout, as well as showing me greater width in that escutcheon when viewed from the rear, as well as showing me greater width between those hocks while on the move. 2 is placing over number 3 today for showing me greater smoothness of blending from that shoulder into that loin, as well as down into that rump. I will grant to my 3rd place for showing me greater width in those hips and pins, as well as into that escutcheon. 3 is placing over number 4 for that width in that rear end, as well as showing me greater depth of body, increasing back into that flank, as well as standing on heavier bone at this time. And 4 is placing over number 5 today for showing me greater development in that posternum as well as that brisket. I will grant to my number 5 for showing me greater rear leg angulation and a more correct slope to that rump. And number 5 is placing over number 6 today for just showing me a more correct pygmy height that we are looking for at this age range for our wethers, as well as showing me a little bit more greater depth of body, increasing back into that flank, and greater width in that chest floor. Thank you.
Be bringing in your Class 7B wethers that are 4 and older. Congratulations to our Class 7A winner. 1st place, Abigail Colvin with Milo. 2nd, Alia Hurley with Buttercup. 3rd, Adriana Kaufman with Midnight. 4th, Gabriella Kaufman with Ash. 5th, Elena Kaufman with Pepper. And 6th, Captain Hook with Adriana Kaufman. We are now on Class 7B, wethers 4 and older. Please have all your 1st and 2nd place wethers ringside for selection of Grand Champion wether.
Alrighty, this is my last class of weathers 4 years and older. I'm placing 1 over number 2 today for showing me stronger, more resilient pasterns at this time, as well as showing me greater smoothness and blending from that shoulder down into that loin. I will grant to my second place for showing me greater rear leg angulation when viewed from the side, as well as greater width between those hocks. And that is why she's placing over my number 3 today. As my number 2 shows me greater width between those hocks, it's also showing me a more correct slope to that rump. 3 is placing over number 4 today for showing me greater smoothness of blending from that neck down into that loin, also showing me greater development in that brisket, greater width in that chest floor. 4 is placing over number 5 today for showing me greater width in that escutcheon while on the move, but as well as showing me greater width in that shoulder all the way down into that loin, as well as into that hip when you're viewing from the top. 5 is placing over number 6 today for showing me holding stifles as well as elbows closer to the barrel, as well as tracking with greater ease of movement in that gait. 6 is placing over number 7 today for showing me greater width between those hocks, as well as showing me greater rear leg angulation viewed from the side, as well as showing me greater heart girth at this time. 7 is placing over number 8 today for showing me greater depth of body, increasing back into that flank, as well as showing me a little more correct set to those rear legs, a little greater width between the escutcheon at that time. And number 8 is placing over number 9 today for showing me greater depth of body, increasing back into that barrel, as well as showing me a little leveler top line in the area of the chine today. Thank you.
Congratulations to our weathers 4 years and older, Class 7B. First place, Charlie Murdoch with Grayson. Second, Leah Happel with Bandit. Third, Joey Murdoch with Oliver. Fourth, Elise Hurley with Knight. Fifth, Elizabeth Miller with Pepper. Sixth, Elizabeth Miller with Maximus. Seventh, Mackenzie Schaefer and Percy. Eighth, Alia Hurley with King. And ninth, Lauren Happel with Hiccup. Be bringing in all your first and second place weathers for selection of our grand champion weather.
This is my lineup for best weather. I have my oldest on my right and my youngest on my left. My biggest thing that I love to explain to people is when we get into this lineup and we are looking for our best weather, our grand champion, we are not comparing them to each other. We are comparing them to our scorecard of what the best pygmy weather is compared to these weathers here. And today there is a single weather here that has hit almost every single point for me, from agility to structure all the way down to behavior. Works very well with his companion, moving about. When it comes to setting up, just listens and sits there like a statue, just how you like a weather to be, but still a little alert and animated as much as he can be. And for that, I'm gonna go with my young guy here. My second place has come up for contention of reserve grand champion weather, but again, there's another weather out here that keeps his head upright. He's very alert and animated appearance. He shows me a nice level top line. He's very square throughout. When he gets on the move, he shows me a great, nice, elongated step as he goes. And I'm gonna go with this caramel right here.
Congratulations to our grand champion weather, Kinley Privet with Squirt, and our reserve grand champion, Azalea Davidson with Maui. Congratulations to all of our exhibitors. Begin with our registered junior.
Alrighty, this is my junior doe kids, 3 months and under. I'm placing 1 over number 2 today for showing me just a little greater angulation in that rear view, in that rear leg set when viewed from the side. She is also showing me just a little greater width in that escutcheon. I will grant to my second place for showing me greater width in that heart girth as well as that chest floor this time. Thank you. This is my class of junior does 6 to 9 months. I'm placing 1 over number 2 today for showing me just a little more correct slope to that rump at this time, as well as showing me just a little greater width in that escutcheon when she gets on the move. When this first doe, when she gets out on the move and she gets easy going, she just pops out and just shows that great width that she has. As she grows, it's just going to keep getting wider and wider. I'm excited to see where this doe goes. 2 is placing over number 3 today for showing me greater rear leg angulation viewed from the side, as well as showing me greater width overall in that chest floor today. And 3 is placing over number 4 today. This just comes down to size, muscling, smoothness of blending throughout at this time. Thank you.
Be bringing in class 13, junior freshman yearlings. Congratulations to class 11. First place, Sam Hoffmeister with Izzy. Second, Ben Hoffmeister with Gertie. Third, Will Hoffmeister with Olive. And fourth, Riley Roby with Pixie. This is our class 13 junior and freshman yearlings.
Good evening. My name is Maddie Shively, and I'm this year's Miss Hamilton County 4th runner-up.
Hi everyone, I'm Kendall Mangus, this year's 2nd runner-up and Miss Congeniality.
Hi everyone, I'm Max Smith and I'm this year's 3rd runner-up.
Alrighty, this is my class of does 12 to 18 months of age. I'm going to leave them as they came into the ring today. I'm placing 1 over number 2 today for showing me greater depth of body, increasing back into that flank. She's also showing me greater width in that heart girth all the way down into that flank as well, and showing me a little greater smoothness of blending. I will grant to my 2nd place for showing me a little greater femininity about the head and neck, especially with that no beard at this time. Thank you. Alrighty, this is my lineup for registered junior does. I have my oldest on my right, my youngest on my left. Today I'm going the doe that stands very square on heavy bone, strong bone. She shows me a beautiful level top line and very nice upright head carriage. When you get your hands on this doe, she is very smooth throughout from that neck all the way down into that loin. And then when you get to viewing her from the rear, she shows some great width in that discussion all the way down into that hocks. And for that, I'm going to go with my oldest animal here today. My second place has come up for contention of reserve junior champion doe today. But again, there's another doe out here that she is not the biggest doe out here. But when you get your hands on her, she is very square throughout. She shows me beautiful bone structure. She stands on heavy bone at this time. She's very square in that chest floor. Shows me great heart girth for her size at this time. I'm going to go with my Goody here. This is my class of does 3 to 4 years of age. I'm placing 1 over number 2 today for showing me greater width in that chest floor all the way down into the back. When you're viewing her from that rear, you can see she shows me a greater width in that escutcheon all the way down into those hocks as well. And she's showing me a little greater angulation in those rear legs when viewed from the side. I will grant to my second place for showing me just a little greater femininity and a shorter, broad.
Congratulations to our Class 20 does 3 to 4 years of age. First place, Will Hoffmeister with Flirtation, and second, Sam Hoffmeister with Shadow. We're bringing in Class 21 does 4 to 5 years of age.
I have a single entry here in my 4 to 5 years old. This doe shows me that she's standing on square standing bone. She shows me a great level top line, as well as showing me a great width in that chest floor at this time, and a nice upright head carriage. Thank you. Again, I have a single entry here in my 5 years and older does. This doe shows me a very nice upright head carriage. She's very alert and animated, nice level top line, especially in the area of the loin. She's also showing me great width between that escutcheon at this time when viewed from the rear. Thank you.
Congratulations, Class 22, Aubrey Johnson with Diva. Your registered does of Champion Senior Doe.
Alrighty, this is my lineup for registered senior doe. I have my oldest on my right, my youngest on my left. With how hot it's beginning to get, I'm kind of giving them just a little break as we did just walk through. Today I'm going the doe that shows me a nice upright head carriage. She's very alert and animated. She's very square throughout. She shows me a beautiful upright head carriage, a level top line. She's very feminine about that head and neck, and for that I'm going to go with my middle doe here. And since that is a single entry, I will continue for our reserve senior champion doe. And for her width that she has, the squareness, I would love to see a little bit more muscling throughout. I'm going to go with my Carmel as my reserve.
Congratulations, registered senior doe champion is Aubrey Johnson with Bonita, and registered senior doe reserve champion Bill Hoffmeister with Flirtation. We now need our junior champion and reserve junior champion doe for selection of grand champion. In the barn, we need all of our class 26 animals to be ringside.
This is my lineup for grand champion doe. I have my senior on my right and my junior on my left. Again, just like our grand champion Weathers, we are not comparing these does to each other, as that would not be fair, as with different age groups, different breeding prospects, you're going to see a senior doe greater width compared to a junior. And so we like to make sure we always compare them to our scorecard. And today for that, there's a doe out here that just has a beautiful upright head carriage. She's very square throughout. She shows me great rear leg angulation. She is very feminine about that head, except for that one little thing about her beard, but it's going to be my junior today. My reserve junior has come up for contention of reserve grand champion doe. And again, looking at that scorecard, This doe just puts it all together for me, for that femininity of that head. She is very square throughout. When you get your hands on her, she's very smoothly blended for her size. And again, I'm gonna have to stay with my junior.
Congratulations to registered doe grand champion Annika Strasberg with Carmel Wishes and registered reserve grand champion doe to Sam Hoffmeister with Izzy. We now need our registered mother-daughter pairs.
This is my lineup for mother-daughter. I'm actually going to leave them as they came into the ring today. I am placing 1 over number 2 today. My biggest thing when it comes to mother-daughter, I like to see what has improved in the daughter from the mother. What did we utilize in our buck to improve our doe? And as you take a look at our first place here, comparing that head, you're seeing a shorter, broader muzzle in that junior doe. You're seeing a leveler top line. You're even seeing greater width throughout just in this young age of this doe. As she grows, she is just going to further and further surpass her mother, and for that, that is why she will be over my second place today. I would like to give grants to my second place, because when you break down just this doe's head, down to the shortness of her muzzle, the width of her eyes, you have completely put a perfect pygmy type head on that junior doe compared from her mother. Alrighty, I have a single entry here in my unregistered junior does, 3 months and under. This doe is just a beautiful doe. She's got a nice level top line, a beautiful rear leg assembly down even up into her rump, a beautiful set to that. Then you get into her head and she's showing a great femininity about that head, a very nice upright head carriage with the way we look for. Very well deserving of a first place. Thank you.
Results from class 25, registered mother and daughter. First place went to Will Hoffmeister with Flirt and Gertie. And second place went to Sam Hoffmeister with Shadow and Izzy. Results from class number 26, junior doe kids under 3 months of age went to Diamond with Ari Codridge. In the ring now is class 27, intermediate doe kids 3 months to under 6 months. Please have class 30, junior unfreshened yearlings 12 months to under 18 months ringside, and class 31 ringside as well.
Alrighty, this is my class of unregistered does 3 to 6 months of age. I'm placing 1 over number 2 today for just showing me a little greater rear leg angulation viewed from the side, as well as showing me a more correct sloped rump at this time. 2 is placing over number 3 today for showing me greater smoothness of blending from that neck down into those withers at this time, as well as showing me a little greater depth of body increasing back into that flank. 3 is placing over number 4 today for showing me greater width in that discussion, as well as between those hocks when viewed from the rear, as well as while on the move. And 4 is placing over number 5 today for just showing me a more correct set to those rear legs, as well as showing me greater width in that shoulder all the way down into those hips and pins. Thank you. I have a single entry here in my junior does 12 to under 18 months of age. This doe shows me a very nice upright head carriage. She's very feminine in her head. She's also showing me beautiful rear leg angulation viewed from the side and great width between those hocks when viewed from the rear today. Thank you.
Results from class 27 intermediate doe kids. First place went to Elktria, Joey Murdoch. Second place went to Bree Mackenzie Schaefer. Third place, Rita Joni Swinford. Fourth place, Busy Jody Sanford. And fifth place, Olive Roman Sanford. Results from class 30, junior unfreshened yearlings. First place went to Reba with Joni Swinford. In the ring now is class 31, does 18 months to under 24 months. Ringside should be our non-registered junior doe champion contenders. Please be bringing class 36, does 2 years to 3 years. Results from class number 31, senior unfreshened yearlings, 18 months to under 24 months. First place went to Butter and Gavin Aspie, and second place went to Millie and Bellamy Fouch. Entering the ring now is our champion non-registered junior doe contenders. Again, please have class 36, dose 2 years to 3 years, ringside.
Nice level top line, a beautiful feminine head and neck, and for that I'm going to go with my caramel here.
Congratulations to our champion non-registered junior doe Butter, shown by Gavin Aspie, and our non-registered junior doe reserve champion Elktra, shown by Joey Murdoch. Entering the ring now is class 36, does 2 to 3 years of age.
Okay, this is my class of unregistered does 2 to 3 years of age. I'm placing 1 over number 2 today for showing me greater width in that chest floor, as well as showing me a more smoothest of blending from that neck all the way down into that chine and a leveler top line in the area of the loin. 2 is placing over number 3 today for showing me more greater rear leg angulation viewed from the side, as well as showing me greater width in that escutcheon as well as between those hocks at this time. 3 is placing over number 4 today for showing me greater depth of body, increasing back into that flank, as well as showing me greater width in that heart girth at this time. 4 is placing over number 5 for showing me greater body capacity, greater smoothness of blending from that neck all the way down into that loin. 5 is placing over number 6 today for showing me just a more correct levelness of her rump at this time. And 6 is placing over number 7 today for showing me a little greater muscling in that shoulder all the way down into that loin. Thank you.
Congratulations to class 36, those 2 to 3 years of age. First place is Azalea Davidson with Penny. Second, Isadora Grau with Ray. Third, Aria Kodrich with Hugs. Fourth, Aria Kodrich with Kisses. Fifth, Ethan Schaefer with Taxi. Sixth, Joni Swinford with Jane. And seventh, Joey Murdoch with Lolita. We now are ready for class 37, those 3 to 4 years of age.
Okay, this is my class of unregistered does, 3 to 4 years of age. I'm placing 1 over number 2 as well as the rest of the class. This doe is not the biggest doe of this class, but she is the most well put together doe in this class. When you get your hands on her, she is very tight throughout. You see her shoulder attachment all the way down to her elbows, keeping close with her barrel. She's also showing me a great rear leg angulation and a level top line. And for that, she'll be placing over my number 2. Number 2 is placing over number 3 today for holding her stifles closer to her barrel at this time. 3 is placing over number 4 today for showing me greater smoothness of blending from the neck down into that loin, as well as showing me greater development in that posternum as well as her brisket. 4 is placing over number 5 today for showing me a more correct slope to her rump and a more correct set to those rear legs. 5 is placing over number 6 today for showing me a tighter shoulder attachment as well as keeping her elbows closer to her barrel. And 6 is placing over number 7 today for showing me greater body capacity at this time, as well as greater depth of body increasing back into that flank and greater width in her chest floor. Thank you.
Congratulations to class 37, does 3 to 4 years of age. First place, Matthew Dupre with Della Rose. Second is Gavin Aspie with Iris. Third is Matthew Dupre with Chloe May. Fourth, Mackenzie Schaefer with Naomi. Fifth, Roman Stanford with Boo. Sixth, Kenley Privet with Gretchen. And seventh, Kendra Billheimer with Snickerdoodle. We'll be bringing in class 38, does 4 to 5 years of age. A reminder, we are going to need all of our first and second place senior does to be ringside for selection of champion. We'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsor today, the Farm Credit Mid-America. We appreciate them supporting the Pygmy Goat Show.
Alrighty, this is my class of does 4 to 5 years old. I'm placing 1 over number 2 today for standing on heavier bone, as well as showing me a more correct slope to her rump and greater depth of body increasing back into that flank today. I will grant to my second place for showing me a greater development in that posternum today. Thank you.
Hello, fairgoers. Come join us in Hall A and get some free cake as we celebrate 25 years of Purdue Extension doing our ACTS program. Free cake, Hall A.
This is my class of unregistered does 5 years and older. I'm placing 1 over number 2 today for showing me a more correct set to those rear legs and a more correct slope to that rump today. 2 is placing over number 3 today for showing me greater smoothness of blending from the neck down into those withers as well as all the way down into that chine today, as well as showing me a leveler top line in the area of the chine. 3 is placing over number 4 today for showing me greater body capacity as well as greater depth of body capacity. And 4 is placing over number 5 today for showing me a more correct body of symmetry that we're looking for with our pygmies. We're one those short, cobby, compact. Thank you.
Congratulations to our does 5 years and older. First place, Charlie Murdoch with Pixie. Second, Gavin Aspie with Rose. Third, Lauren Happel with Lily. Fourth, Judy Sanford with Fiona. And fifth, Zoe Carmack with Luna. We need all of our first and second senior does for selection of champion. Immediately following our non-registered grand champion doe selection, we will begin with mother-daughter, and then that'll be followed by showmanship.
This is my lineup for Senior Doe Champion. I have my oldest on my right and my youngest on my left. Today I'm going with a doe that when she gets out on the move, she shows some great elongated long stretches as she goes and takes her steps very easy, and her gait is so smooth as she walks. She shows a beautiful level top line as well as great development in that posternum and great depth of body, and for that I'm going to go with my doe here. And as my second place comes in for contention of reserve senior champion doe, there's another doe that puts it all out there for me. She is full of femininity, of upright head carriage. Again, like I said in her class, she's not the biggest doe out here, but when you get your hands on her, she is the most well put together doe. She is square throughout. Everything is beautifully tight, and for that, I'm gonna go with my goatee here.
Congratulations to our unregistered senior doe champion, Gavin Aspie with Gina, and our senior reserve champion is Matthew Dupre with Della Rose. Congratulations to all exhibitors. We now need our junior doe champion and reserve junior doe champion to compete for grand champion doe. Following the mother-daughter selection, we will take about a 15-minute break before showmanship. That means we will start showmanship about 6:50 p.m. and we are going to start with juniors. That's grades 3 through 5. Again, we're going to take a 15-minute break before showmanship. It'll be about 6:50 p.m. when we start with the juniors, grades 3 through 5.
Alrighty, this is my class of mother-daughter unregistered does, and I am placing this class from my left to my right today. One is placing over number 2 today. My biggest thing, like I said in our registered, I like to see the improvements from the mother to the daughter. When looking at this first place over to our second place, I look at that rear end, and with our second place, they are very similar rear ends. When you come over to my first place here, you can just see the increase in angulation, a more correct slope to that rump on that junior doe, and she's just continually to get better from her mother. And for that, she will be our first. Thank you.
We are now going to take a 15-minute break, and then we will begin back with showmanship. So again, at 6:50, we will begin with junior showmanship, grades 3 through 5. We are taking a 15-minute break. Junior showmen, grades 3 through 5, should be in the ring right now. If you are going to be part of intermediate, grades 6 through 8.
Please give a round of applause for our junior showman. Coming in and working on showmanship can be a very difficult thing, especially with goats. They can be very temperamental, they don't want to stand, they don't want to act right, and sometimes you can have the most well-behaved animal that you've worked with every day, all day, and the time you come out for showmanship, they said, I'm done. It happens. But it's how you act with your animal, how you recover, and the knowledge of your animal. And another thing with showmanship is keeping an eye on the judge, always making sure you have your animal in between you and the judge. I made sure to stop and kind of was extremely knowledgeable of the parts of the animal, and workings of getting ready for show and what to do there, as well as once I gave some education on keeping an eye on the judge and working with your animal and keeping them in between, the showman was like lightning. Now we got to slow down a little bit, but immediately I could see the wheels turning in them. They listened amazingly, and for that, my gentleman is going to be my grand. And then as we go, there was another showman that is immediately, once they came into the ring, they had their eyes on me the whole time. They were always making sure their animal was in between me and her. She always had her animal set up the best that she possibly could. This animal barely moved the whole entire time, and just you could tell that she really worked well with her animal and was really prepared for this. And for that is going to be my young lady here. And I want to give another round of applause for my other young ladies here. They worked really hard. It's just in this type of class, we just got to do a little bit more of watching our judges and just learning a little bit more, but you guys are doing amazing. Thank you.
Congratulations to our Grand Champion Junior Showman, Roman Sanford, and Reserve Grand Champion Junior Showman, Annika Strasberg. We now need our Intermediate Showman, grades 6 through 8.
Please give a round of applause for my intermediate showman. Something, if you know me really well, even down when I was a 4-H'er, my absolute favorite thing was always showmanship. I never cared about a grand champion doe, grand champion whether. My biggest thing was always showmanship. And so I'm always big about making sure you know your maneuvers, that you're always keeping an eye on your judge at all times, and making sure you are aware of where they are at all times. But also a knowledge of your animal. A big thing that I have noticed as I moved in and I'm speaking with all of these kids here today, they are very close with their animals and they know their animals very well. And I'm very happy with that. But now let's move into my placements here. My young lady here, she is placing at the top of our class today. And for that knowledge, she always kept her eye contact on me. She was always watching me, even when her animal didn't want to cooperate at times. She was always able to easily take a little walk, get a reset, and always had that animal set for me. And I want to say my top two were incredibly close, but it just came down to a single maneuver that my young lady got. I caught you on the last one. But my gentleman here, when you go and you speak with him about his animals, he is very well, his education, he is very well knowledgeable about his animals, about showing, and you can tell he is so excited about these animals and showing them. And for that, he is in our top two. As we move down to our number three, my young lady here, you want to talk about maneuvers and dealing with a difficult animal, like I said in the last time. Sometimes the animal just does not want to cooperate. And for that is why she's placed down a little bit. Today her animal just didn't want to cooperate and it was just having a little bit difficulty. This young lady, when you get her down about her questions and things, she will do what she can to give you what knowledge she has and figure out what's next. Now as we move down to my number 4, this young lady, the confidence that this young lady has about her animals, I absolutely love. We need to do a little bit more looking in our books as we move down this line of understanding the parts and understanding our animals a little bit more about the inner workings of our animal, especially their parts. But again, when you start talking with these young kids, you don't normally see them look you in the eye and keep eye contact and have that confidence as they're talking. And this young lady absolutely just blew me away with her confidence. Then as I'm moving down to my young kids here, my young lady, she is absolutely knowledgeable about her animal, and when it comes to making sure that the comfort is there, animals are well cared for, this young lady's gotcha. And I absolutely loved that. Now as we're moving down, we need to be a little bit more eye contact with your judge, a little bit more looking into our book and really studying as we go and making sure our animals are set at all times. But my two young ones here, they were very good at wanting to really listen and learn and take what they took for education as I was speaking with them and used it in the show ring. Again, please give them a round of applause. Thank you.
Congratulations to our Intermediate Grand Champion Showman, Kinley Privet, and Reserve Grand Champion Intermediate Showman, Matthew Dupre. We are now ready for our Senior Showman, grades 9 through 12.
Please give a round of applause for my senior showman. As I said, my favorite thing is showmanship. If there's a chance where I get to sit down and actually teach something, I would rather teach than just tell. And you can ask any showman that has ever been under me, I will never tell you the answer. I am very big on, as we get into our seniors, your knowledge of your animal should be at your top tier as a senior. This is something you should know, the simple parts of these animals, the well and the husbandry, and just knowledge of the animal you are caring for. Now, as we move into my placing today, my young lady here really shined today. My top 2 ladies really did. Honestly, my whole 5 did. But the one thing that really got her was the knowledge of the difference of 2 parts. A difference between our brisket and our sternum. These 2 ladies here, if you watch them, they were going back to back when it came to maneuvers, keeping their animals set up, even down to the knowledge. But I gotta be as picky as I possibly can be when it comes to our showmanship. And I will find the littlest thing you do. Now, as we move on to our 2/3, again, this just comes down to knowledge. Both my ladies here, when it came to setting up their animals, maneuvers, keeping an eye on the judge, hands down, absolutely amazing. Please give your guys selves a round of applause. But for just that simple, tiny bit of knowledge, my number 2 is placing over number 3. 3 is over number 4 today. This just comes down to maneuvers with the animals. It's getting to the end of the day, and my gentleman's weather is just, he's had enough. And that has gotten him down a little bit. And my young ladies have really run my guys a run for their money. They gave them a really good run. And I want to give another applause for our gentlemen because they really hit it out of the park, and the confidence that you both have has been amazing. The knowledge of your animals and the big thing of wanting to know more. Well, I don't know yet, but I'm going to figure that out for you. I absolutely love hearing that. And for that, that is why my gentlemen are up in my top 5 today. As we move down to my last 3 ladies, this just comes down to really looking into that book and getting some more knowledge of the animal that you are caring for at this time, okay? Thank you.
Congratulations to our Grand Champion Senior Showman, Lauren Happel, and a Reserve Grand Champion Senior Showman, Azalea Davidson. Congratulations to all exhibitors. We're going to take about a 10-minute break, and we will begin the costume contest at 8 o'clock. Again, we have about a 10-minute break for you to get your costumes ready, and we'll begin at 8 o'clock. This is the final call for costume contests. If you plan to participate, please be ringside.
Alrighty, we're gonna allow these lovely showmen to tell us what they are here.
So I'm Ellie Miller, and I am going to Kansas State. So just like Toy Story, how Andy's giving away his toys, I'm giving away mine. And my goat is one of my toys.
Hi, I'm Aria. I am a Starbucks barista, and this is my Gotachino Diamond.
I just want to say, if you guys really take a look at her apron here, it does say Diamond Coffee, and it's got a goat on it.
I am Monica Strasberg, and I am a belly dancer, and my goat is my helper.
Hi, I'm Skylar, and I'm Princess and the Frog, and my goat is the frog.
I'm Clark from My Christmas Vacation, and this is my goat, you know, who had the accident. Yeah? Oh, he's fine, he's fine, he's fine. He's just a little crispy on the outside, but he's fine. You want to know something? The best part is that I got my bonus!
Please give a round of applause. Usually I have the Queen's Court judge for us, but I think we're gonna involve everyone here. I'm gonna go around and put my hand up behind, and whoever cheers the loudest will be our winner. So, all right. How about our lovely Ellie here? And we got some Diamond Coffee. And our lovely belly dancers here. Our Princess and the Frog. I'm letting you announce for yourself.
Clark from My Christmas Vacation.
I think we have a clear winner. I think Clark has won our wonderful costume contest. I feel like we were really close with between Diamond Coffee and our Princess and the Frog. So I'm going to go back. Let's see, guys, who's going to be our second. So our Diamond Coffee or our Princess and the Frog. All right, I think it was real close, but I think it was our Diamond Coffee.